Needless Things Podcast. Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest episode of the Needless Things Podcast, where we talk about toys, movies, music, and all manner of pop culture dorkery. I am your host, Dave, and I am full of energy, not just thanks to DDP Yoga, which I've been doing for, 16, 18, 20, 19 or 20 consecutive weeks now. I'm on board. I feel better than I have ever felt in my entire life. Like, even when I was younger, I just feel absolutely great. I have more energy. My aches and pains are gone. And this is not in any way any kind of, like, paid ad, because nobody's going to pay me to talk about anything. I just think that everybody should do this. And not necessarily, you know, obviously this is an easy way to do it. It's kept me on track. I'm very lazy. I'm very hard to... if it's something I don't necessarily enthusiastically want to do, like, say, produce a weekly or monthly podcast, like the Needless Things Podcast, or the new Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast that will be available the first Monday of each and every month, wherever you get your podcasts. If it's something I'm not necessarily enthusiastic about, it's hard to keep me on track. And DDP Yoga, there's the app. You just go in every single day and you do what it tells you to do. And even I have managed to keep up with it for, 5 months now-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I am currently, the other reason I'm so full of energy, so happy, so absolutely delighted with life right now, despite all the crazy stuff going on, is I'm off work for 9 days. Now, we were supposed to be at the beach visiting my parents. Obviously, now is not the time for that. But I'm not at work, and I'm getting stuff done around the house. This is the 4th day of my 9 days off, and I have gotten new toy unboxings recorded. You can go right now to the Needless Things YouTube channel and check out my reviews of the new Ultimate Edition Becky Lynch, which... I'll be honest, I wasn't totally thrilled with. Go check the video out to see my critique, my genuine, honest, fair critique of that figure. And also this week, I posted a review of the new Casey Jones and Raphael 2-pack from NECA. I managed to get in on the pre-order for that. It came, I opened it, and you can go and you can go, you don't even have to read anything. You just sit there and watch and listen. It's incredible. So go check out my thoughts on that 2-pack on the Needless Things YouTube channel. So I accomplished that. I got 2 new sections of shelves put up in the Phantom Zone. Just all kinds of stuff. Getting stuff done. Everything on my 9-day to-do list is done. So now I've got 5 more days to figure out stuff to do. Threw a bunch of stuff up on eBay that, quite frankly, some of it's blowing my mind, which is a good thing. Because what I'm trying to do now is have a PayPal budget available for this crazy G.I. Joe thing that I'm undertaking. So any Joe stuff that I get has to come out of my PayPal budget from stuff that I've sold. That's just the most reasonable, manageable way to go back and rebuild this Joe collection. So there you go. That's just a little bit of what's been going on there. I hope you guys are having a pretty good time and you know, doing the best you can to have great lives in this weird year we're having. Today, we got something special for you. We've got a treat. Because we sat down and we watched Tony Scott's Top Gun for July's Needless Commentary. Obviously, we did this because the new Top Gun movie was supposed to be coming out sometime around here, maybe last month even. I'm not quite sure when it was, because to be honest, it wasn't on my radar. It's not something I was going to go to the theater and see. Although I will say, if we had gone to visit my parents this week, I'm sure me and my dad would have gone to see it because he took me to see the original in the theater when it came out. So that would have been a cool sort of full circle thing. And, maybe at some point we'll still be able to do that. But Top Gun, Danger Zone, America, yeah, you're going to enjoy it. We have a great time watching this film. And I think it refreshed everybody's perspectives on the movie, because it's one of those things that kind of sits in your head as this legendary Hollywood epic, a landmark of the 80s. But when's the last time you watched it? Think about it. And maybe if you're a big Top Gun super fan, you watch it all the time. But I think most people are probably like, yeah, I've seen that. That was pretty kick-ass. And you're right. But there's also a lot of stuff maybe you're not remembering, or things that you're remembering that you're not even right about, which is what we discovered. So you will enjoy this needless commentary. But first, some news. Okay, first of all, did we talk about this Sentinel from HasLab? Has the next HasLab offering, the crowd-funded branch of Hasbro that makes big giant stuff like the Katana, Jabba's sail barge, which you can hear a full discussion of on an older episode of the Needless Things podcast with our excellent friends over at Victoria's Cantina. Follow them on Instagram and YouTube. They're doing a Sentinel, a Marvel Legends Sentinel. It's like 26 inches tall. It's giant. It's $350. Now, I'm not disputing that thing, once you've got it in hand, will be worth every penny of that price. But I've got the original Toy Biz Sentinel. I've got the Hasbro Sentinel that came out in their 3.75-inch scale line that I think is a really underrated figure. And yeah, sure, it would be great to have a, over 2 foot tall Sentinel. But man, that's just not something I want to spend $350 on. More power to the people that do, which, by the way, is a lot of people, because that thing is blowing away its goals. It met its first goal in under 24 hours, so it was fully funded within 24 hours of the launch, and now it's hit the first 3 stretch goals that Hasbro set up, which are an alternate master mold head, an alternate damaged head, and then a whole extra 6-inch scale figure of Sentinel Prime in a female form, which I'll be honest, I don't even know what that is. My comic knowledge from the last 20 years is not as thorough as it maybe. I'm not going to say as it should be, but Marvel has not been enticing me with a lot over the last couple of decades. But anyway, everything, it's incredible. It's great. Good for them. I'm glad everybody that wants this Sentinel is getting not only this Sentinel, but a bunch of extra stuff. And I told Mrs. Troublemaker the other day, if they keep adding stuff, like it may end up being worth the $350 to me personally. So we'll see where that goes. It's got like a whole another month of the campaign. So, like, as these stretch goals keep getting added, I'll be watching pretty closely to see just how enticed I end up being. But there are other things I would rather spend $350 on. As a matter of fact, when this thing went up, I went to Entertainment Earth to see if they still had Snake Mountain available for $600, and they didn't. It was sold out. So no Snake Mountain for me, which is for the best, because I have nowhere to put a Snake Mountain, as much as I would like to have one. What else we got? San Diego Comic-Con is next week. Not news so much, but sort of teasers have been coming out. Walmart today is launching an all-new collectibles portion of their website. I put a link to this in my notes, and it is not working now. I don't know if that's Walmart's fault or my fault. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably my fault, because I think I pasted it wrong. But, okay, a little looking, and I've gotten it to work here, or I found it, I guess. Thanks to Past Me for posting a link in the Needless Things Podcast Facebook group, which you should all join. But you do have to answer the 3 questions. I I don't know how the 3 questions get presented to prospective members of the group, but apparently it's very confusing because some people just answer them, no problem, get right in. Lots of people answer no questions, answer 1 question, which I don't understand. You got to answer all 3 questions. Please do. It's a requirement. Okay, so I am currently at walmart.com/cp/collectibles, which they should really make this thing a little easier to find from the homepage, but whatever. 17 hours, 22 minutes, and 58 seconds from right now, which for you guys is probably sometime in the past. They are launching this Collector Con, which will be from a dedicated page on the Walmart website, and there will be new exclusives available only at Walmart, which, as we know, is a horrible, horrible nightmare that nobody likes. I had posted that, I got that aforementioned Casey Jones and Raphael 2-pack, and, got in there, ordered it, and it was relatively hassle-free, and then it got shipped to me, packed very nicely. The Ghostbusters retro figures that I got also packed immaculately, but I have had reports since then that even the Ghostbusters figures were mashed up. Other stuff just hasn't been shipped or has been canceled. So my hope was that somebody new is in charge of this portion of Walmart's products and that maybe steps were going to be taken to pay a little more attention. Because, look, I don't care what you think about toy collecting, there's no reason for any product to be folded in half and jammed in a box, which is what was happening to these figures before. And apparently is still happening to some degree. That's ridiculous. So it's not about toys, it's about your products. But I was hopeful that maybe somebody new was in charge and some care would be taken with not just the shipping of these things, but with the offering of them as well, which is what this page looks like to me. But it remains to be seen. So if you are paying attention to this show, if you're getting this show, actually no, this goes up at 11 o'clock, so yeah, this has already happened. You should be able to go check out this website now. I'm sure all of the exclusive stuff is already sold out, but maybe there are other product lines they'll be offering through this page. I don't know. We'll see. But right now they have Star Wars Black Series, Transformers War for Cybertron, Marvel Legends, and G.I. Joe. All Hasbro stuff is going to have products exclusively available through Walmart, which is no surprise. They've been doing that for a while now to not the best results. But then they also have some Q-Figs, some Spawn figures, some Rick and Morty stuff from Mondo, stuff from Factory Entertainment, Funko. Lots and lots of different brands are offering things through this site, which to me is a good thing. Because, yeah, I know even more people trying to get even more things are going to jam up the site. But at the same time, there's a bigger variety of things available, which will get more eyes on this, which in the future will hopefully make this thing seem a little more valuable to Walmart. Because, toys are a tiny... They don't even make the top 10 of what Walmart sells. So as much as I hate Walmart and wish that the company would die and go away and we could get back to smaller businesses, this is the best of a bad situation, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So go check out Walmart tomorrow and see what their collectors site or section or however they're designating it, their collector shop. As a matter of fact, you know what? Right now for you guys, I am going to Google Walmart collector shop and see. Oh, look. Okay, the collectibles, walmart.com. I'm going to click on that, and it takes me to that collector shop. So they've already got it set up so that Google will suggest this to you when you look it up. So if you just Google Walmart collector shop, you'll find this thing. So that's good. At least it's not going to be difficult to find, because believe me, their website is a nightmare to navigate in the best of circumstances. All right, what other news have we got other than me having to put Walmart over while simultaneously crapping on them. Super 7 has teased a lot of stuff for next week to keep an eye out for. They have got Back to the Future, Weird Science, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, obviously, stuff on the way for it's not San Diego Comic-Con, for Stay at Home-a-Con. I can't keep track of what everybody is referring to their individual Comic-Con replacement online deals as. Yes, Super 7 Spectacular Stay at Home-a-Con happens in 7 days, so it is the 23rd, July 23rd. Get on Super 7's website. They are not working with Walmart. Good for them. And you'll be able to order all kinds of stuff. What I found interesting from this, the most interesting things I've seen thus far, they have a Weird Science logo with an outline of Chet, which is the giant poop monster that Bill Paxton gets turned into in Weird Science. I would imagine that'll be a reaction figure. Although, to be honest, I'd kind of like if it was one of those big vinyl Japanese-style things. That would be kind of cool. I'd almost prefer that. Because, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Weird Science, but I would like to have Bill Paxton as a giant turd. There's a Back to Future reaction figure with a hoverboard of some kind. There is some kind of Peanuts Snoopy. There's a Spike with a cactus. And then there's Snoopy with maybe a suitcase or something. These are all just silhouettes where they're teasing products. But the most interesting thing out of what Super 7 has teased is a Baxter Stockman with a Mouser. And it's an Ultimate style figure. I don't know if this means this is something that is going to be available like on that day that will ship out, because that's usually how Super 7 does this stuff. Which would mean this will be the first Ultimate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure from Super 7 that collectors will be able to get into their hands, which is pretty freaking exciting to me. So yeah, July 23rd, there's a lot of stuff going on. That is the start of this virtual Comic-Con that everybody is doing. So we will be on top of that, and then we will have the following week, we will have our coverage of everything that went down at San Diego Comic-Con, except for the G.I. Joe stuff, which will be announced on the second episode of the Audible Interlude podcast. And right now, you can check out the premiere episode and the first episode of that. We've been getting some good feedback, so I'm pretty excited. And finally, from Super 7, the last big thing that was teased is an Ultimate King Diamond figure. I can't even imagine what this thing is going to look like. It will be scaled to fit with the Toxic Crusaders, with Masters of the Universe, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with all of those Ultimate lines. I can't imagine they're going to make a big giant buff King Diamond. So I'll be very interested to see what this looks like. But it's more details coming, I'm sure, next week. And that is all we've got this week in the news. Okay, one last thing before we get to the meat of the episode. I want to put over horrordecor.net, where we just ordered a Jason Voorhees horror buddy and a Dead Alive baby. What is it? It's not a keychain. It's like a little plush backpack clip, I guess it is. These products are absolutely incredible. If you remember the Wrestling Buddies from, I guess, the late 80s, early 90s, maybe, they're they're like pillows with printed designs on them, and they're in the shapes of the wrestlers. Well, these are those, except they're in the shape of Jason, Freddy, Wolf Cop, Frank from Hellraiser. Like, they've got all these different characters, and you go to the website and they look cool, but once you get these things in hand, they're this really sturdy, nice fabric. The printing is gorgeous. I mean, if you flattened these out, they would be like, it'd be something you'd hang on your wall. Like, that's how nice the detailing and the printing is on the actual products. They've got 2 different sizes of Horror Buddies. They've got a 12.5-inch one, and then they've got a 22-inch one, which is the size of the original Wrestling Buddies. And they're big and cuddly, and they just look incredible. I am all on board with these things. I ordered the masked Jason, kind of the traditional Jason, and then the baby from Dead Alive is a backpack clip, because I kind of wanted to try out both of those products, and I knew Mrs. Troublemaker would want that baby. And I'm so happy with these things. Like, this is going to be my go-to gift for horror fans from here on out. And I'll tell you guys again, once again, this is not any kind of like paid endorsement, because nobody's paying me to say anything. This is just a product that I happened across and am so enthusiastic about. I love this guy so much. So go check out horrordecor.net. They've got tons of other stuff on the site. They've got candles and soap and masks and all kinds of other cool stuff. But these buddies you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't get one of these things. They're just, I can't even tell you how nice they look in person. They're great. So go check that out, horrordecor.net. All right, that's it. That's the end of the news. That's the end of the plugs. It is time to head into the danger zone with the Needless Commentary team on this month's Needless Commentary. Ice cubes. No ice cubes in this movie.
Fucking ice cubes.
We'll get to that, though, because what we're getting to is Top Gun, baby. It is time to take the Needless Things podcast into the danger zone. So, this seemed like a really good movie for the month of July, which in general I think is the most patriotic month of the year.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to watch Top Gun for this month's Needless Commentary. We've already watched it once, and then we went outside and we set various things on fire.
As you do.
Almost set a couple of trees on fire.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No,
We got a professional.
But it's so
trees had it coming.
It's so fucking humid out that we weren't too worried about anything going out.
It's because we're a bunch of mavericks and we don't play by the rules.
We are, definitely.
We had to go supersonic with the Admiral's daughter.
We definitely wrote some checks that our asses couldn't cash.
That's right.
Damn right.
And we're all sweating profusely now.
Yeah, this is the moistest podcast that I've ever been a part of.
Which is appropriate because it's the moistest movie that we've ever watched.
Aquaman was less moist than this movie.
Damn, that was good.
I don't know. I feel like the theater in Aquaman was more moist, though, if you catch what I'm saying.
Yes, depending on how many middle-aged women were in there.
There were some basements that were flooded during that movie.
So we were watching, we are watching the new 4K release, although we're not actually watching the 4K one. We're just watching the layman's Blu-ray disc.
We're scaling it back to 2K.
But just get your VHS or your Blu-ray or your DVD, whatever you got, set up and hit play right now.
The copy you bootlegged off the Superstation, however many.
No. Well, that's not really bootlegging. That's just
recording.
recording.
Did have this on Laserdisc back in the day. This seems like a good Laserdisc.
I think
movie.
that only 17 movies came out on Laserdisc, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of movies on Do you remember this about Laserdisc? You have to fucking flip them over?
Yeah.
It's
like a record?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is insane.
It was the one thing.
Laserdisc.
It was the one thing I could never deal with the format because I mean they were incredible. They were basically DVDs.
Yeah.
Because they had the special features and stuff.
They were just huge.
But having to get up and flip them over in the middle of the movie was ridiculous.
Like an hour and a half movie, and you got to flip it.
Yeah.
Like I'm already annoyed when I have to do that for like the Lord of the Rings extended editions, and those are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, at least that makes sense.
Does it though?
Makes more sense.
I guess.
Tony Scott, rest in peace.
Is he dead now?
He is, isn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if
if
he dies, we hope he rests.
Yeah.
Kelly McGillis, who...
Not a great actress.
No. Well, and that's okay, though, because she's in not a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Look, this movie is awesome for what it is.
It's a cultural happening.
It is a cultural happening, but watching it now with my 44-year-old eyes, I probably haven't watched this in 20 years, maybe more.
Listen, we're not saying this is Krull or anything.
No,
This is still enjoyable. It's just not great.
Yeah, I'll still watch this from time to time. It's just not. It's not as awesome as you want it to be.
I feel like if you just watch this, if you just let go and watch this movie, it's very fun and very enjoyable. If you watch it critically at all, then you're like, oh shit, this isn't good.
Well, and
you know what I mean?
And it's not even... I think it's... For me personally, it was more the pacing than anything.
It is like...
There's a lot of people talking really close to each other.
I think it's because there's not really a lot of stakes until the end.
Well, right, yeah, they're not even fighting, like, what? It's just this guy who's kind of a selfish prick.
That being said, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it again, because I haven't watched it since I was like 12, and I really enjoyed watching it again.
It's been forever since I've watched it.
The way that it's shot, like, everything technical about it is completely badass. Like what we're looking at right now, Ryan, you pointed out that, like, literally everything is shot at either sunup or sundown.
Yeah, which had to be hell.
It makes it all look so cool.
Yeah,
which this is Tony Scott. Like, you can look at this right now, and it looks like Tony Scott's stuff.
Yeah, it looks fucking amazing.
All of the fighter jet shit is fantastic.
Which was the that's the whole thing, is he wanted to shoot fighter. No, this had never been done before.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
anytime they're up in the air, it's exciting, it's beautiful. The stuff on the ground is a little lacking.
Yeah.
You know.
I grew up, my dad worked as he was an airplane mechanic for the Air Force, and worked at Robins Air Force Base. So I grew up, like, a lot of my life spending time at an Air Force base, and I don't know, watching this just makes me happy. It makes me think about, like, all the fucking air shows I used to go to and all that shit. So, I dig the shit out of this movie. Airplanes are fucking cool. I don't know.
Yeah, and especially, like, fighter jets. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that.
Well, this airplane in particular, though, for me, because this was one of the G.I. Joe airplanes.
Yeah.
This is the Sky Striker, that basically, which I think was my dad's selling point.
Did the Sky Striker come out before this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sky Striker was 83, I think.
The aircraft carrier came out before this, too.
The aircraft carrier was 85.
Okay.
So I had the Sky Striker and the USS Flag. So that was like a big... Well, one, it was a big deal. Like, that's the reason my dad bought me those toys.
Yeah.
Was because, early in its run, G.I. Joe was all based off real military stuff. So he was way into it. But yeah, this was how he got me to go see this movie was, look, it's stuff you have.
Yeah.
And then it turns out I'd really rather just watch a few episodes of G.I. Joe because...
It's stuff you've got. Now, watch Tom Cruise awkwardly have sex with Kelly McGillis.
That's... We'll discuss that when we get to it.
Yeah.
And then there's
the MiGs.
And like they never explicitly state these are Soviet planes, but the implication is there.
Yeah, I mean,
they're the bad guys.
Any movie in this time is just like, Russians.
Yeah.
I think the only one that actually like came out and explicitly said, "Oh yeah, these guys are Soviets," was
Red Dawn.
Spies Like Us.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV.
Yeah.
Hunt for Red October. Yeah, there were a lot, Arian. We could literally sit here for the next 2 hours listing them.
The end of communism came about because of Rocky IV, and only Rocky IV. That's canon.
What was the movie where the kid was Cloak and Dagger? Was that the movie with the kid with the imaginary spy friend?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That sounds familiar. I've seen that.
Yes. That is an actual movie.
Yeah. And then the one with War Games.
That was Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, that also had Russians.
The only winning move is not to play. The point is...
What is the point?
The point is that Sylvester Stallone single-handedly ended communism.
That's a fact.
That is true.
That is canon. I will not have that debated.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got a lot of names in this movie. Obviously, Tom Cruise's teeth are the star of the movie.
Oh my god, there's a lot of teeth in this movie.
There's a lot of teeth, but Tom Cruise literally just squints and smiles his way through this movie.
Fucking kills it in this movie. He is so overly confident and like cocky, but in all the good ways. I think that his character Maverick, he fucking nailed.
Ryan, put your pants back on.
I'm just saying.
This is inappropriate.
I would blow him. No, what? What?
Just for a few minutes.
This is a family show.
Oh,
it's not. No, it's not.
I was going to say, if it's a
we
family
just
show.
did Veronica?
Yeah.
That's just good.
Why have you let me on it?
I thought it was the new Shrek.
We have a segment called Arian's Anal Porn.
It's about maintenance and upkeep.
Yeah.
Always make sure you clean your anus.
Well, I misunderstood the podcast.
There's a setting on your shower nozzle.
But yeah, Tom
Anus 1, 2, and 3.
Fucking Michael Ironside. There's so many badass actors.
Yeah.
That reminds me. Hit me up for buy 2 get 1 free anal bleachings. I know a guy. I'm just
Yikes! But you have to get
Clorox in your butthole.
Yeah. Just got a tub of bleach at home.
It's two at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just a dude that lives behind the Walmart with a turkey baster and a jug of Clorox. It's fine.
Or
You really know how to show a girl a good time.
I mean, that's why I have so many second dates.
the point is, the shit's badass. That's
it is.
This stuff is again, it had never been done. This was done with the full cooperation of the military. All of this is like stuff they shot for the movie. It's not like this is stock footage.
Yeah.
Now the cockpit stuff, we actually talked about this a little bit in the first viewing. I don't think it's blue screen, but I mean, there's no way it's the actors up there flying. I'm not quite sure.
I think so. Some of it is real close in on them, so it's them on the ground, and some of it you just see kind of a blue sky behind them, so they could necessarily like be on the ground. And then sometimes I think they have actual pilots up there with cameras, and half of their faces are covered.
I know the trailer for Top Gun 2, you can clearly tell that like Tom Cruise is in the sky, and it's insane.
And he's just flying.
Yeah.
Like it's just Tom Cruise, no plane or anything. It's just Tom Cruise
just flying
through the sky.
The power of Genu compels and
the power of the alien god.
I'm just saying, it's impressive as shit.
He's OT level 7 now. He can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can actually fly at level 6.
They had to fake a global pandemic to stop that movie from coming out, just to stop Tom Cruise.
Because he's too powerful.
That's the power of 5G and Bill Gates.
Speaking of 5Gs,
all right, that scene looks
this scene
silly.
is. But when I was a kid, it was the coolest thing.
It's badass, but like it looks
ever.
silly with like the weird superimposed cockpits above each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little strange. But
and I thought Goose was like the coolest, funniest, most charming.
He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Like I was weird. I was like the girl that had a crush on Goose, which
Well, he's not a creep who would follow you into the women's room.
I know.
Yeah.
How is that romantic? He's like, I'm going to follow you into the women's room and probably assault you.
Okay, so this is
song.
We don't do a ton of
fine.
like just reading straight off Wikipedia, but I think this is interesting. The producers wanted the assistance of the U.S. Navy in the production of the film. The Navy was influential in relation to script approval, which resulted in changes being made. The opening dogfight, which we're watching now, was moved to international waters as opposed to Cuba. So this is actually supposed to be Cuban jets. The language was toned down, and a scene that involved a crash on the deck of an aircraft carrier was also scrapped. Maverick's love interest was also changed from a female enlisted member of the Navy to a civilian contractor with the Navy due to the U.S. military's prohibition of fraternization between officers and enlisted personnel.
That makes sense.
So that's
they do have all kinds of rules about who you can put it into.
And I I like that because it's they get a lot of the technical stuff right. Like, I don't mind that changes ended up being made to the script because they don't really affect the story. Like, the important events of the plot still happen the way they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Plot.
Plot,
Plot.
yes.
Plot.
There,
There's a plot.
there is a plot,
There's
but
a
most
plot.
of it's just
The whole-
an
the whole
excuse for
point
like
of this,
really cool scenes with airplanes.
The whole point of this movie is it's like a delivery vector for the volleyball game. It's like,
Yes. Oh boy.
It's like the only purpose of grits is to like convey more cheese and butter to your face.
Yes.
This movie exists for the volleyball game.
It really is. It's a 110-minute excuse
So-
for a 5-minute volleyball game
The
with
crash.
men not wearing shirts.
The crash on the aircraft carrier, was that supposed to be what's his
Cougar.
call sign? Cougar?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't specify.
John Cougar
I bet it
Mellencamp.
Probably.
Well,
'Cause
but
he
I feel
comes in
like,
like this.
that would have changed the whole plot, though. If he had crashed, that would be different from Maverick saving him. Because the whole thing here is he saves the guy, and then the guy quits.
Yeah, but he was still number one, so if he died, then Tom Cruise was still
Yeah, maybe. That seems like a less good story. That makes Tom Cruise seem even
Yeah.
like less of a hero
Yeah.
than he
Is that
is.
it?
Yeah, if he gets Cougar killed and then he gets
Right.
Goose killed.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
damn, dude.
And he gets his spot. Well, and not only that, he
He's
gets
like, well, I'm low on fuel. I guess
Cougar
I'm
dies
gonna
and he gets his spot.
Yeah.
Maybe he really is cursed. His bloodline.
No, actually, this scene does kind of make Maverick like a badass because, like, he by all means should have landed, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna save my friend." And yeah, that's like some intense flying right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the fact that they used all real planes and everything, it just makes it look so fucking badass. Like, definitely having the cooperation with the military was a huge asset to this movie because it probably would have sucked otherwise.
Okay, so there's nothing about how they shot the stuff in the cockpits. So whatever.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting
Cockpit.
little anecdote for you, Ryan, because someday I feel that you will be this much of a baller. During one particular filming sequence, the ship's commanding officer changed the ship's course, thus changing the light. When Scott asked if they could continue on their previous course and speed, he was informed by the commander that it cost $25,000 to turn the ship and to continue on course. Scott wrote the carrier's captain a $25,000 check so that the ship could be turned and he could continue shooting for another 5 minutes.
That's fucking
That
bad.
is badass as fuck.
That's baller as
Yes.
shit.
Dollar bills.
Yeah,
Yep.
that rules.
The only way it could be better is if he had 25,000 won.
Just cash and
And
just
he just
started.
threw it at him. Catch this bitch.
That's the
Turn
thing,
the
though.
ship.
It's like, I mean, when you
The,
know,
the real Andy Sedaris move would have been to have Playmates bring it out.
Yes. Yes.
In
But it would have been
briefcases.
$25.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe 2,500.
It's funny that this ship is...
It would have been like a check. It would have been like a coupon for like $25 off a hot tub or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
This ship is the USS Enterprise.
Is
I
it?
like that, yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Which, I mean, is an actual ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Here's Maverick's first ass chewing of many, many ass chewings.
But none of them are as good as the ones that James Tolkien,
Yeah.
that Masters of the Universe's James Tolkien hands out.
He is fucking badass.
It's true. Yeah.
Even though he's like 4'8".
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise
Yeah.
is like 5'2".
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, is he a midget? No, I mean...
No, there's anything wrong with that.
Little person, thank
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I love your backpedal, dude. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that.
you. Just to be
That
clear.
cleared it all up. Yeah.
No, James Tolkien's still alive. He's 89 now,
Yeah, I didn't
Gosh.
think he had passed away.
though. But like, he's definitely.
Definitely past being in Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, that's the reason we're watching this, is originally Top Gun Maverick, the sequel, was supposed to come out this month. And now it comes out, who knows when. Who knows
Yeah.
when anything will ever come out again.
When
Life
it
has gotten
does,
weird.
I will be in the theater watching it.
As long as
If we still have theaters, then.
If we have theaters,
Yeah.
then
if
yes.
it's safe to go to theaters.
And if it's safe to go, yes, all that.
So we talked a little bit about moisture, but now that we're looking at it on the screen, let's go ahead and point out
Listening.
everybody is just covered with moisture through this entire movie.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that this is a set, or do you think they're actually filming on a ship?
I think they're on an actual carrier.
If they were in the Indian Ocean, it is humid out there.
Well, when I was in Boy Scouts, we got to spend some time on actual carriers.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it now. And we spent the night on one, and it was pretty gross.
Is it the one in Charleston?
You know what? I don't remember.
I think that's the Yorktown.
My dad could probably tell you, but I don't remember because we went to several different military bases, and there was one ship that we just kind of toured, and then the other one we actually got to spend the night there and do some other stuff that was pretty cool. And then the USS North Carolina. If you go on that, I mean, but nothing's running. Like, I don't know what kind of air. I mean, they must have some kind of air flow in there.
My friend spent a couple of years on the JFK. She was actually in the first group of women ever on a aircraft carrier in the mid-90s. And she said, yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're packed in like sardines. You'd have like your bunks. And she said there's not enough room to sit up.
No.
In your
No,
berthing,
that's the
is what
one
they
we
call
were
it.
in.
Yeah.
It was like
You
you
can lay
had
down.
to roll out.
Yes.
You couldn't do anything.
So if you woke up abruptly and went to sit up, you'd smash your head.
Yeah.
Oz, if you're listening, tell us about the Navy.
Yeah, that would have been great to have Oz here.
Well,
I mean, that's in general just
Damn
true.
it, he's our favorite seaman.
That's true. And he's not even a video game fish.
Classic.
God, Val Kilmer. I mean,
The way he spins that pen is so douchey. I love it.
It's the frosted tips, though, that really bring it.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen gay porn that was significantly less homoerotic than this movie.
Yeah, this is definitely the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 of
Movies?
airplane movies.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. But
It's
some
fine.
of the looks between them, the smoldering gazes.
Well, and I wonder if it was directed that way, or if they're just all like, young, tight bros being
Yeah, it's very bro.
like
Yeah.
but it does in a noticeable way.
You could interpret it that way for sure.
But I think it's on the screen in that way.
Yeah. Every look is that moment before you start making out.
Yeah, they all are. It's like when, a lot of
Especially between,
times
Val
when
Kilmer and
two
anybody.
wrestlers
Yes.
are in the ring and they're talking shit to
Look
each
at
other and they keep getting closer and closer and like it's Undertaker and Stone Cold and they're like nose to nose and you're just like, they're going to kiss.
Yeah.
They're
It's
absolutely going to
instinctually,
kiss.
when you see
like
this,
it just looks like
You're
that.
like, oh, they're about to make out. And
And-
it's almost like they cut away and everybody was making out.
And that's like so many of the scenes in this movie are that same thing where you're like, they're about to kiss.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Val Kilmer and his partner, like, dude's got his arm around him. They're sitting so close together they can, like, count each other's nose hairs. It's intense. And I mean, go for it. I'd watch Val Kilmer make out with a dude.
Has that lady got a cigar?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And a
Sometimes you get a
stupid pink
smoked
hat.
cigar.
They call him Iceman.
Also, why is he wearing his sunglasses inside?
Because
Look, I'm not
Because
gonna
he's
lie, it
fucking
looks cool.
It does look
It
cool.
looks cool.
It looks cool as shit.
Because he's
Also
Iceman.
notice Iceman and Slider are drinking mixed drinks, and Maverick and Goose are the working class drinking their
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
their
That's a nice touch.
Weisers.
Yeah, that's subtle.
It's the only thing in this movie that's subtle.
Possible.
I mean, Goose
So is my
amazing.
Johnson.
Yeah.
I didn't
He
know what
means
that
his
meant.
penis.
Yeah. I didn't know that when I was 10. I guess I was 10 when I saw this. I was not 8 when I saw this.
What was it, 86 it
It
came
was
out?
86.
Yes, I would have been 10 too.
I wasn't born.
Yeah, thanks, I know.
Yikes.
Thanks.
You were
were a
negative
fetus.
2.
Yep.
Yeah. He was a fetus. He was probably in utero at the time. When I
Wait,
saw
were
him.
you 87?
87.
87, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But early 87, so. Mine was a small little embryo floating around.
He was second trimester when this movie came out.
Probably. It's perfectly fine that I was watching Top Gun before you were breathing.
So for the listeners, we have, I mentioned we've had a long day.
It's true.
And
Normally.
usually we'll sit here.
We cooked meat on a fire.
We
That's a
did.
thing that
We
happened.
charred some meat. We charred some
Trees.
fireworks and some
Did
trees
some
and
early drinking.
yeah. So we're all. We may not make it to the end of Top Gun, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but
And
like, just imagine the rest of the movie with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you've
yeah.
seen it.
Just pretend we're still here. But yeah, when we started doing these, the intention was not really necessarily even to talk during the whole movie. It's just that usually we end up having stuff to break down, or we'll get to the end of the movie. But this is a really long movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
and if at a point we decide that there's just not really anything else to talk about,
There actually comes a point where it gets really boring, and you should almost just fast forward to that last dogfight scene.
yes,
Because that is worth watching.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the shit up, in between, is just guys wearing towels, guys in their underwear.
I
well,
think,
I mean,
blah, blah, blah.
I don't know
Also,
how
like-
boring that is.
I think after Goose dies, spoiler alert, I think after Goose dies,
If you hadn't watched this 34-year-old movie before,
I think that really, like, from then on is like, that's when the stakes are actually at play, and it's like a little more like, you're like actually kind of worried about Tom Cruise's well-being, and if he's going to be able to, if he's just going to quit, or, so I think, watch the beginning, and then fast forward through the middle, watch Goose die, and then watch the end.
also watching someone who's, I'm going to qualify this, an alleged gay man seduce a woman who actually turns out to be a gay woman in real life. They're actors.
It's exactly as awkward as you'd expect it to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and add 50 sailors singing. At them.
Lost that loving feeling, yes.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about that scene. Because
We
it
should
was
talk
like one
about
of the
that scene.
iconic scenes in the movie.
It was iconic, but my gosh, how is giving her the most awkward moment of her entire life supposed to be like a good pickup line?
It works though, because later on she comes back, she plays it in the jukebox. She
Well,
remembered it.
I mean, at this point, she's all. There's a callback.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
yeah,
At this point,
It's like
she's
a
like
Chappelle
already
set.
falling in love with him.
yeah.
The pacing of this movie, the pacing of their relationship is incredibly bizarre.
It's dumb.
It's off.
It's really
Yeah.
dumb.
It's strange.
I mean, they have dinner together and talk about work stuff, and then she's like, "I'm falling for you," or "I've fallen for you." I'm like, "What?"
They'll see right
Why?
through me.
Yeah.
There's
There's zero
Yeah.
chemistry between these two.
No,
at
there's
all.
nothing.
She we were watching it before. She seems like his aunt.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He seems so fucking young in this movie. It's crazy.
Well, he's like, this is just a couple of years after Risky Business.
Yeah.
So.
Where in Risky Business, he plays a teenager.
Right. So, I think I want to say Risky Business was like 82, 83. Hold on, I'm checking the. We all have like.
I rented Risky Business. Speaking of which,
Yeah,
at
Risky
one point,
Business was 83.
and watched it with my dad. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know what year it was or how old I was, but I remember getting halfway through Risky Business, and my dad looked over at me and said, "This is fucking PG-13," and turned it off.
Was it even PG-13? Did that even exist?
I don't even.
then?
No, they didn't have PG-13.
I'm pretty sure they did.
No. what-
PG-13. Gremlins was the first PG-13.
No, Risky Business was R.
Was it R?
Yeah.
Maybe I told him it was.
Maybe
because we
you-
rented it. It
maybe
was
you
later.
lied.
It was It was years after it
You
came
were
out.
deceptive.
I was like a young teen, and I may have told him it was PG-13
Or PG.
or PG or something like
Yeah.
that.
Because like
Let's-
a lot of movies like Poltergeist and stuff were PG.
Yeah.
Like, and-
Well, this is PG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, there's not that much in this. Let's talk about the fact that his name is Pete Mitchell, which is a pretty dorky name.
Hey, I'm Pete Mitchell.
My name's Peter Mitchell.
I totally get him going by Maverick. He's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Maverick. Way cooler.
His dad's name was Duke Mitchell, which is pretty cool.
That's
Way
badass.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll just name you Peter.
Peter.
Ugh.
That means wiener.
Oh, look at this. Michael Ironside looking
Love it.
tough, being the instructor.
Super cool.
Yes, I know we've already seen him in the movie, but we were doing something else.
Yeah, no, that dude fucking rules. Everything he's in.
He is an excellent military instructor guy.
Oh, yeah. And an excellent bad guy. Anytime he plays a bad guy, he's fucking awesome.
At some point, we will watch Starship Troopers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, I've seen Michael Ironside in a lot of things. I've seen him in bad movies, but I've never seen a bad Michael Ironside performance.
Yeah, he's always
Well,
awesome.
He's always good.
Also, like, I'm not going to say he's one note, but, like, he's really good at what he does, and he rarely gets asked
Yeah.
to do anything else than what
Yeah.
he's really
You don't
good
hire Michael Ironside to not be some hard ass.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hire him because he's Michael Ironside.
Yeah. Did y'all see Turbo Kid?
Yes.
He was fucking great in that, too. He was a bad guy in that.
I have not seen Turbo Kid.
I enjoyed it.
What was
It's
the
worth
other
it.
thing that came out right around the same time? There was Turbo Kid, and then there was the one that was like a little goofier that had
Kung
like
Fury.
Kung Fury. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. Wasn't there supposed to be a Kung Fury movie
They were
coming out?
supposed to be, yeah.
I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's cowboy hat.
I bet his
I
call
believe it's
sign's
called South
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Yeah. It is.
He's like, guess I gotta live up to the name.
He's like Wild Bill from G.I. Joe,
Hell
the
yeah.
helicopter pilot that dresses like a cowboy.
Ah, I remember.
This is where he's got to drop some knowledge.
I don't know, man. This like the cockiness, the way he's like holding the pencil. I don't know. He's just like
Yeah, this thing that he does
Yeah,
here
that
is like
thing
really
is
cool.
just-
I'm doing visuals on a podcast, so you can just imagine.
Well, they can see
guess what
it.
I'm
They
doing.
can see what he's
Yes.
doing on
Yeah.
the screen. That's fine. Because I'm sure they're definitely actually watching the movie along with us and not just in
watching
their car
it
or
and listening to it
something.
in their
You're-
car.
I imagine most
4G.
people are watching Top Gun at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4G, at least he didn't go 5G with his towers.
5G.
And then everybody would die.
Yeah.
You know?
Goose and Maverick have the most chemistry of anybody in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
This is true.
for sure.
Yeah, they've got the better romance.
They are absolutely believable as friends, with Goose being the guy that has kind of kept Maverick. He's the Matt Hardy to Maverick's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of kept him in line
Yeah.
through the years as much as possible, but also kind of hung on to his coattails a little bit.
Yeah, Goose is the grounding force, but also he knows that Maverick is really talented, so he knows he can advance by being with Maverick, but he also helps him not to, like, self-destruct.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, it's a relationship where they both get something out of it.
Well, yeah, Goose fucking he gets death out of it.
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's true. He
yes,
does die.
yes.
Spoiler alert.
But Maverick is
Goose does
cleared of all
Yeah.
responsibility.
Actually, that was a good call, like story wise, because otherwise it kind of just make him look bad if they didn't clear that out.
And he looks bad enough as it is.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, especially though when you're watching this movie, like it's very exciting, but most people don't know shit about
Yeah.
fighter planes. So
I don't know if he got him.
Yeah,
killed,
you
huh?
really wouldn't know if he did something wrong or if that was an equipment thing or what
Yeah.
without them going through it. Because otherwise, I don't have any clue. So it's a good idea that they were like, oh,
Yeah, because that way at the end he can be the hero still.
yeah.
Val Kilmer's casual prickishness
Oh yeah.
is incredible.
Oh,
His
he's so good.
Sneer. He has this amazing sneer that he just gives Maverick every time he sees him.
Even like at the end when he's kind of like being buddy with him, he's
still
still
a dick.
so douchey.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got
Still dangerous.
Michael Ironside in Starship Troopers that we will have to watch at some point.
Hell yeah.
We've got Val Kilmer in Tombstone, which
Yes.
we will have to
Oh.
watch at some
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
He is fantastic. He steals that movie.
Yes. I have not yet begun to defile myself.
That was one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Val Kilmer at his best.
Why, Ike? You're not
That
much of a
is-
Well, it
speller.
certainly isn't Batman Forever.
No, not so
That-
much.
It was Tombstone. and
That's
Sister Act
what
2
we
back
should
in the
actually watch, is because you would spend that entire movie being so
Screaming?
angry.
Well, no, I mean, I've watched that movie dozens of times. It's not.
I still
It would
hate-
be a good one to watch.
I still hate Batman and Robin more than that movie.
You're out of your mind.
I know, but for other reasons.
No, we were supposed to have Matt Sells back over to watch Batman Forever, but obviously things haven't worked out for that yet.
No.
We gotta wait a little while before we expand again.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to see how good Maverick is, but how he's totally okay with breaking the rules.
Yeah. But
Because he's
but
what?
also
A Maverick.
in Maverick's defense, like if they were actually in a dogfight,
Yeah.
There wouldn't
Yeah.
be the rules.
yeah,
Exactly.
You take the shot.
It's
Yeah.
just what works,
Yep.
and you don't give a shit if he's under 10,000 feet.
Be like, oh, he went under 10,000 feet, so I couldn't shoot him. I'm sorry.
Which I think, I mean, that's kind of the
Point, yeah.
It is, but I don't know that it's necessarily the point the movie's trying to make. But it's there in the subtext, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, and I guess this is a result of them working so closely with the Navy, there really isn't he does things his own way and it works out. Like, it really kind of isn't that story. It's like he does things his own way and manages to get by, and then in the end kind of still follows the rules. Like, there's
Yeah,
no...
You're actually right. Like, it
He's
doesn't,
an instructor, yeah.
it doesn't work out for him until he starts following the rules.
Right, it
Like, at
doesn't
the
pay
end,
off.
he doesn't
Like-
leave his wingman.
Yeah.
And, all that. So they kind of keep harping on the fact that you keep breaking the rules, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then so finally he plays by the rules and they all win and they shoot the bad guys. Yay. Spoiler alert, sorry.
So let's...
They win at the end.
We're going to admit our ignorance of how basically anything works at all. We don't know what Goose is doing.
The only
No idea.
What
only
does the
thing we can-
co-pilot do?
The only thing we can say for sure is that we know how Stonehenge works, and that's thanks to Red Ranger.
But it looks like the co-pilot's sole job is to smack on the canopy in the cockpit
And die.
and and to hold on to some handle that I speculated if he lets go of the handle for too long, the plane just falls apart.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's the hold together handle.
Very
Absolutely.
important.
Okay, so according to the internet, they are primarily weapons system operators.
That makes sense.
They control radar and they can fire some air-to-air missiles.
Okay.
They watch the sensors.
Well, yeah, because
They yell at the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, there's somebody coming up on us. Yeah, because like the pilot can't be looking at everything.
Yeah, so they kind of handle like somebody's coming, let's shoot him with this thing or whatever.
That guy is wearing boxers, so I guarantee his balls are just hanging off the end of that bench right now in full view of everybody.
Oh yeah, like there's so many like dudes in real short towels sitting on things. So you just know like their balls are like all up over the counter. Like I hope they wipe those counters down.
Tell him, Iceman.
It's just a little ball juice between friends.
What's a little ball juice?
I'm dangerous.
This is a great scene.
It's,
Between both of them.
yes.
The fucking,
Teeth.
yeah, the
What
teeth
is
everywhere.
up with that?
I don't know why he's like biting at him.
It's just being
And look at that guy over Michael Ironside's. I can almost
Yeah,
see his
you can
dick right
almost see the head.
there. Yeah, it's peeping out.
Yeah. It's trying to get some air.
Yeah, it's like when he gets up, his balls are gonna have to like they're
Yeah,
gonna
like,
be
they're
stuck
gonna go
to the counter.
That dude sitting in that posture and that outfit or lack of an outfit is something I would have seen in other kinds of movies I watch that involve,
I don't know.
Are we going to Arian's anal
What?
corner?
I
Is
mean,
it time for Arian's anal
it
corner?
doesn't necessarily have to be anal. It can just be, other things.
I mean, I feel like his butthole is on the counter as well, the way he's spread out.
I mean, probably.
I'm
I just feel like we're going to have to disinfect all the counters in Top Gun.
I mean,
going to
not just
disinfect
the
that
counter.
couch Arian's sitting on.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, the fucking
Plug in with the boys, Volume 6.
True.
Oh my goodness gracious. There's just lube and ball juice everywhere.
You.
Do balls juice?
proceeded below.
I don't even know exactly what you're asking.
I don't either.
They sweat.
That's true. That's ball juice.
That's why you gold bond those fuckers.
How do you argue with that, though? He's like, there was no danger, everything was safe, so I took the shot. Yeah, well, good. Yeah, like, how can you even be mad about that? The
Because it's
flyby.
about the rules.
Yeah.
The flyby is dumb.
The rules of engagement
Like,
exist for your
The
safety.
flyby thing was ridiculous. But it was worth it for the guy spilling coffee on himself and then doing it again when he leaves the all pissed off.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
he does it again at the end,
Yeah.
which makes it beautiful.
That's worth it. Yeah. I feel like
Another callback.
that one joke is worth him being kind of a cop.
That one joke is almost as good as how many times we hear Berlin's "Take My Breath Away." That's
Oh
Berlin,
my God.
right?
So, I don't
There's
even
a
know.
point in this movie.
Isn't it Berlin?
Yeah, it is.
There's a
Berlin.
point in this
Okay.
movie where "Take My Breath Away" starts playing, and it doesn't stop for like 25 minutes. It'll just fade in and out. Like it'll stop, and you'll kind of forget about it, and then it comes back. Like every time he looks at her, and then they don't call it back at the end. They should have brought it back at the very end.
Yeah, I don't.
The thing that trips me out a little bit about it, "Take Your Breath Away" or "Take My Breath Away" is it sounds kind of like the theme to Twin Peaks, just a little
It does
bit.
a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Very different feel.
Which,
though.
let's never watch any of the Twin Peaks stuff.
Oh, don't worry.
Like, I love the first season of the TV show, but it would make a terrible podcast.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I enjoy David Lynch's stuff when I'm in the mood for it, but no, I don't
It
think.
wouldn't be enough to talk about.
Well, there'd be plenty to talk about. I just don't think it'd be.
Interesting.
No.
We're not qualified.
No.
How about that?
Yeah, I've
We
seen the
can
show
watch
that I
Dune.
I'd rather
make
not.
they make
Isn't
the
that
start
like
of
5
car.
hours or some shit?
No, it's
No,
like
the-
2. It's like a little bit more than 2 hours.
Okay.
Like the new one's going to be like probably 3.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's going to be
That's a lot.
excessive.
I'll skip that.
I'm going to watch it, but
I'm very curious about it. I'm not a. I haven't read the books. I don't care for the movie.
I tried to listen to the audiobook, and I just couldn't,
I read
Get
the,
into
the
it at
first
all.
2.5 books. Really, like the first 2 are good, and then after that it starts getting very bad.
And so, for the listeners, if you want a little example of how interesting Top Gun is at this point, we're talking about Dune.
It's true.
yeah. And that's the problem with this movie is, all this is just fodder for, the cool airplane scenes.
Yeah.
And, like you said, there's not really much stakes,
Up
At
until
all.
the last
Yeah.
third-ish.
until they kill Goose off.
I agree with all this, but I will say, when I watched this when I was younger, I didn't think about any of this. I was just like, man, this is cool the whole time.
I'm really surprised it kept my attention.
Yeah, because the whole I remember specifically watching this, and the entire time I was like, man, this is awesome.
I
Yeah.
think,
Everything.
it's paced very deliberately, and I think you could get away with that more back then than you can now. Where
We have no attention span now.
everything's so frenetic, and you have to get things.
Because I watched plenty of movies that have slow pacing. It's not that. It's that what's happening during the slow pacing. The acting is not particularly good in this.
Yeah.
Only some of the characters have really strong chemistry. There's not really a story. There is, but it's not enough for
The whole love
entire
plot
movie.
is not worth it.
No.
It's not. Yeah.
And there's no payoff to their
No.
love plot
Yeah.
at all. There's one real awkward short sex scene that we'll get to. And, like, that's it. Yeah, and it's about as hot as, like, doing it with your aunt. Not that I've ever done it with my aunt.
Oh, good.
In case you were curious. But, yeah, it's just waiting to get to the next cool airplane scene. I bet the airplane scenes are worth it.
Yeah. Also,
But she totally did ask him out.
I remember always wondering about that guy's airplane on a stick.
Yeah, what's it for?
training.
Like, they get up there and they're like, this is an airplane. It goes like this.
It goes zoom, zoom.
So
through the
close.
sky.
Yeah, see, here's another, like, I'm about to make out with you.
You stink.
Yeah, but you smell bad. So I'm
It's
just
so
gonna make out
weird
with you.
because you stink is such a weird insult, and then this guy gets genuinely
Oh,
upset.
he's
Yeah.
pissed. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
This is the infamous sweaty beach volleyball Tom Cruise in
Look at-
jeans.
Why is he wearing jeans?
I don't know.
Why is this scene in the movie?
Yeah.
Well, I
I know
mean,
why this scene
yeah.
is
Yeah.
in the movie.
Why?
Because
Why is Tom Cruise, who's like a foot shorter than Anthony Edwards, the guy going up to spike the ball?
Because he's the action
This
guy.
is the star.
I think this movie would be better if that guy. Now, if that was Bill Paxton.
What happened? Why did he do that thing with his body?
Because look at him.
I mean, yeah, I probably.
If I looked like that, I'd do that. Yeah, constantly. It'd be annoying.
He'd be in Kroger,
You guys
just
would be
standing
like,
like that.
stop doing that again.
Like, no, this is my move. This is what I do.
That's what I do now.
It's like I suck in my gut and look like an S.
And people would just randomly give me money for doing it too.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh my gosh.
I'm
Look
gonna
at
use
you.
the baby oil.
You could start a Patreon where you have different levels of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, could you imagine just before they shot this scene, the oiling up portion?
I wonder where they shot this. Like, did they even have to oil up, or are they just sweating?
I feel like Cruz was definitely oiled up in at least the beginning of that scene. 'Cause he was like glistening.
So he goes straight over to Kelly McGillis's house right here, just stanking,
And covered
Yeah.
in beach sand.
covered in sand. Oh gosh,
It's all
Ugh.
over his, like, moist chest.
Down his pants.
Yeah.
because he was diving all over the place. He's got sand in his penis wrinkles.
Ew.
Oh my god. That's like the name of like a bad country song.
Sand in my penis sprinkles?
Yeah.
I think there's a Wesley Willis song.
So
did my penis wrinkles.
It was at the rock show and I had sand in my penis wrinkles. Rock over London, rock over Chicago.
Burger King, have it your way.
Penis wrinkle, penis wrinkle.
I found my Wesley Willis T-shirt earlier. I still have it from the time I saw him live.
Didn't he headbutt you that one?
He did not headbutt me.
No.
I was so disappointed because that's what he does. Apparently, like because I used to have a signed record that I lost in the flood, unfortunately. But everybody lined up at his table to say hi to him and get stuff signed or whatever. And he headbutted my friend Paul that went to the show with me. He did not headbutt me. I was so upset. But yeah, that was his thing. He'd like sign the thing and be like, "Thank you very much," gunk. And it was like not a gentle headbutt either. Yeah, if listeners, if you're not familiar with Wesley Willis, please
Look him up.
Yeah, look into it.
Some good shit.
Rock
This
over
is like-
London, rock over Chicago.
This is such a bizarre scene because he is all gross and sweaty and covered in beach sand, and then he goes to her house for this date with this girl he has this big crush on, and the first thing he says is, "If you don't mind, I'm going to go take a shower."
That's a power move.
At your house, in your shower, like first date.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
he's establishing dominance.
And he's late.
what he's really going back there to do is to upper decker toilet. Because that's how
That's
you
the way to get a
establish
woman
dominance.
to
Yeah.
fall in love
Yeah.
with you.
That's how you establish dominance right
Yeah.
there.
So what about
He's
this
shit in my
bird?
tank. He really loves me.
Why is this bird in the background of this scene? Doing business.
It's just fucking
Doing bird
eating
business.
seeds.
Is if Red Ranger were here, he'd tell us that birds aren't real. So,
They're not.
No, that's
Birds are a
Ryan's
lie.
thing. Red
not
Ranger's
real.
just scared of birds.
I I also found out this week that Hillary Clinton's a clone and Australia doesn't exist. So
I
we're
mean,
good.
Clearly
that
Australia
Australia
doesn't
thing
exist.
blew my mind when I found that
That's
out.
fucking wild.
Australia doesn't exist because
Which
the
is
Earth
really weird.
flat, so how could it?
It's especially weird that Australia doesn't exist because I just had somebody from Australia on the show.
Impossible.
Yeah, my boss, when I used to work at the jail, was Australian.
I believe
Apparently not.
Australia.
They're
I
ignored in
I
Australia.
believe Australia exists before I do North Dakota.
There you go.
I've
But
been
that's
in
where
the
Mount
same-
Rushmore is.
No, it's in
That's
South Dakota.
Oh, what's in
I-
North Dakota?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Whoa.
I've
What
been
about
to
West
South Dakota.
Dakota?
Oh,
Yes.
West Dakota is the place to be, actually. It's happening as fuck.
That's more real than Australia. But yeah, no, the birds aren't real thing is fucking amazing.
Where did the bird go?
It's not real.
Wasn't it just
it's
out
a
there?
government drone. It's out there surveilling people.
It's making sure he doesn't share super secrets with her.
It's sitting on a power line to recharge.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't am I incorrect in thinking that there's a theory that birds sit on power lines because they're kind of masturbating up there?
What?
I have never heard that. That sounds like a Dave theory.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that theory, but that doesn't mean
That
it's
might
not.
be the oddest thing I've heard in a while.
Do birds masturbate on electric wire? On power lines?
Also, one of the strangest Google searches ever.
Your FBI agents are like, man, he's drinking again.
Take my breath away.
That's
I think-
birds are able to sit on electrical power lines because the electrical current essentially ignores the bird's presence and continues to travel through the wire instead of the bird's body. The vibrations that are present in the electrical wires, which are typically copper, do present a sexual thrill for the avians.
Ew.
Oh my god, so every time you see birds on wires, they're getting off?
Well, yeah.
Well, now my whole fucking world is shattered.
I mean,
Every time I see birds on power lines, I'm going to think that they're jerking off.
maybe they are. What a world we live in. What a world.
What a world, what a world. I think, Dave, when we watched this before, you said something about the white shirts.
A lot of white shirts.
Yeah, the ratio of white shirts to any other color is way off.
Also, whenever he left the volleyball game, I noticed that he specifically had like a really big stain on the collar of his shirt. And there, he doesn't have it.
Ah.
So that also means when he took a shower, he washed his fucking shirt while he was there. Which is also, that's a superpower move.
Well, wait. Did he take a shower when he got there?
She told him he couldn't take a shower.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't
That's
know.
because when he left, he said, I'm going to go take a shower, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that was just a continuity error.
Yeah.
I was just making that thing up about the birds, by the way.
Uh,
Birds sit on power lines because it protects them from predators on the ground.
That's way more reasonable than they're jerking off.
I'm never going to forget that. Ever.
I like how you added the word avian to trick us to
Yeah.
make us think it was like legit.
I was on board.
I was so mad at myself because I started laughing at the end. I was
You're
trying
like
to
a
keep it all
sexual thrill
serious.
for the avians.
true.
I was like, well, shit, he said avian, so it's gotta be real.
Yeah, right?
He used a science word.
Yeah. Can't make that shit up.
Okay, so why is he... Oh, wait, he just came out of... Okay, did he come out of the shower? Or did he
Yeah,
go-
she makes a joke about it.
Yeah, you're taking a lot of showers, buddy.
Yeah. You're super moist, as usual.
Here's one of the lesser mustaches in the movie. Goose doesn't have a great mustache,
In the
but he's
mustache
Goose,
hierarchy.
so it's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly the alpha mustache is Tom Skerritt.
Oh, 100%.
Let's not
Always.
Yeah.
lie to ourselves here.
This is the longest elevator trip ever.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's 84 floors,
Yeah.
at least.
They're apparently in the Empire State Building.
I mean, we've stayed at the top of the Westin, and we were up there in like 6 seconds. Like,
Well, this is 1986. Elevator technology
Yeah.
was literally exactly the same. As
There was
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
There's a donkey on the top floor with a rope attached. And it's slowly, like,
when you press
traversing
the
across the
the
roof.
button, a little monkey whips the donkey's butt.
Yeah. And the donkey was really tired that day.
Also, how many floors are there at that base?
Okay.
3?
We just saw it. We're going to see it again. He's giving his kid Starscream. Now, why Starscream is out of the box and getting ready to lose all of his parts, I don't know. Because if you know the Starscream Transformers toy, you know those wings just pop right off.
Yeah.
So do the missile launchers. Like, I wonder if they glued that thing together for the scene.
Probably.
They're like, kid, don't touch it.
Yeah. But there's Starscream. That was awesome.
Early Meg Ryan here as well.
I think they probably sent some dude to, like, hey, go get a toy plane.
See, I feel like there was something about Tony Scott deliberately picking that.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna make some shit up now.
But yeah, I don't think that it would look as cool in the box.
Wait, that's not what I meant to type.
Honestly, I'm not going to trust anything you say now.
You really shouldn't.
No, I really thought that birds were jerking off. I was kind of happy.
Well,
that
maybe
they
they
get that
are.
pleasure.
You don't know. Spotted Starscream and Top Gun. Well, that's not helpful. But I still love you, Dinosaur Dracula.
That dude rules.
Yeah.
No, there's no backstory to that whatsoever. I mean, obviously they're not going to leave him in the box because the whole point is, look, it's a little jet that's like the one that I fly.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do the Sky Striker because that's like this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to give him a plane.
$30 million.
His dad was in a plane.
That's walking around money in 2020. I mean, for actual rich people, not for me.
No, I usually don't even have $30. This is like another scene where they're just yelling at Maverick for, like, not following the rules.
Well, I mean...
And Goose is all embarrassed.
Maverick.
And she's wearing another white shirt. Look at that popped collar.
Yeah, but she's doing some weird thing where she's
Yeah, but
trying to
this is
insult
the
Maverick.
80s. That's how they dressed.
Oh, yeah, for
Shoulder
sure.
pads, collars.
She thinks that everybody will see through her if she compliments Maverick. It's very strange.
Because she's so deeply in love with him.
Falling in love with him.
She's literally known him for like 2 days.
Oh, but look at him, wouldn't you?
No, I told you, I'm in love with Goose.
Yeah.
Goose
Oh,
is
and now
God,
he's...
look how badass though with this fucking.
God, his fucking saunter.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, bitch.
He's like, I don't need to take this shit. I'm
Get on
on
my
T level
motorcycle.
5.
Why does he hate cows? Well, oh, no bullshit.
No bullshit.
I remember that sticker.
Yeah, one of the guys at my construction site has that in his helmet and his hard hat.
In 2020, wow.
Now,
That's
right
excellent.
now. I saw it yesterday. No,
I can't hear you. And she's like, oh, gosh, I'm so moist.
This shit's badass.
She's
Like when he
zipping
rides
after
over his
him in that
ramp.
stupid car.
In her
Right
weird
there.
little
That's
car.
awesome.
And that's totally him.
Yeah, and then she almost kills like 8 people.
Yeah, it's like, that wasn't awesome. You're
Yeah.
dangerous. He even calls her out. He's like, I'm the dangerous one?
Yeah.
Okay, right here, I kind of forget for a second. It looked like she was reaching down to just grab his dong.
She's like, take it out of your pants right now. I want to see it.
Examine
I wanna
the
see your
concrete
wiener.
dog.
I want to look eye to eye with it.
And it better not spit at me. There better not be sand in there.
And your wrinkles.
There's probably a lot of sand in it. Sand in his pee
Oh,
hole.
he's taking like 3 showers. I think he's fine.
Oh,
I don't know. How hard is it to get sand out of your pee hole?
oh my
Never
gosh,
had it
stop
in there. I
saying
don't
that.
Thankfully, I haven't experienced that problem.
Urethra.
Yeah, this is a little awkward.
This is so weird.
Yeah,
but no
and the whole
ice.
thing's
Okay,
in
so
slow motion.
we have to discuss the lack
Yeah.
of ice because all 4 of us were positive there was
I wasn't positive, but like I didn't remember.
No, I specifically thought that I remembered
ice.
ice in this.
Being
Like, they lick
rubbed
each
around.
other like
Yeah.
this, which is really gross, actually.
I can
There's a lot of
visualize
tongue.
the scene, which is really odd. Like,
Yeah.
They look like lizards.
Yeah, I remember him laying her down and then, like, running an ice cube down her
Yeah.
body and seeing her
Look
belly.
at their weird tongue action here. And
It's like they've never kissed anyone before.
I'm 10 years old,
Ugh.
sitting next to my dad in the theater watching this. It's very upsetting for me. And honestly, it's probably part of why I didn't go back and watch this movie for a long time. You okay?
Yes. I'm
You got some sand on your penis.
I was yawning and laughing, and it sounded very weird. I was like simultaneously yawning and laughing. But yeah, I remember that scene very specifically, and I remember him laying her down, but then I remember him rubbing an ice cube down her body and down her stomach.
Yeah, you see her stomach.
Yeah. I remember, and I'm guessing that has to be Hot Shots.
It's Mandela effect. Well, no, Hot Shots, they do a parody of something like that because he's cooking the food on her and
But
stuff.
why would they do a parody?
Right, but it's got to be some other movie.
It has to be, yeah.
And if you look up Top Gun Ice Cube, all you get is Ice Cube's song Bop Gun, which I'm not going to play right now because I'm trying to avoid copyright stuff.
Yeah.
There's got to be Ice Cube sex scene, which is probably only going to bring up, again, the rapper and not what I'm looking for.
He has a song called Sex Scene.
I'm sure he does.
It's
also thought
the B-side
that,
to Cop Killer.
I also thought that we got the need for speed.
That's
I thought
Ice-T.
they said that more than once, but it's just the
you're right.
once.
Yeah, just the one time.
Yeah. It just seems like if that's their catchphrase, they'd say it more often, but apparently they just say it once.
Yeah, I thought I remembered that more times too. It's the
They do a
Mandela
real
effect.
cool, like, high five.
Oh yeah. No, there's a few good like gifs and memes that have come out of this movie too. So I frequently use the "It's Classified" gif.
Google is not helpful today.
I mean, it's just weird that we all remember it.
Well, I'm
And
trying
it
to.
didn't happen.
I'm trying to find. I get sex scene using ice cubes is what I've searched, and I get ice cubes during sex using ice cubes for foreplay. Cosmopolitan.
Ugh.
That's what would be worse than sitting and reading an informational article about how to use ice cubes during sex?
Well, first off, you got to go to Zaxby's. They got the good ice.
Is it the little crunchy
You
ice?
just pour crushed ice all over your partner.
Just saying if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh,
I
he's
can't
going to leave
find
his
anything.
wingman.
So for the listeners, if you can, if you know what movie had the Ice Cube scene, please
What
let us
are we
know.
thinking about?
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
are we
there's-
conflating this with?
Last Tango in Paris, but that's like food and stuff. Although they do use food and Hot Shots, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's definitely
Never
not
heard of
because
that.
Hot Shots was parodying whatever it is we're thinking of.
exactly.
Right?
And that's the
Yeah,
confusing
'cause they,
part
like-
about it.
Cracks an egg on her stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bacon.
Was it 9.5 weeks?
I don't remember that.
I've seen that like once. It's not really my bag.
No,
It's not my bag, baby.
it's gonna be something very random, like twins.
It's definitely not twins.
No, I'm picturing Arnold Schwarzenegger rubbing ice up Danny DeVito's stomach.
I'd watch that.
I wouldn't. That sounds terrifying.
This is the sort of shit I'd see like in my nightmares.
Or
All right.
your search history from what you were saying earlier.
No.
We've got another awesome jet scene. This one with... Wait, is this one with Viper?
Yeah. They're trying to catch Viper.
Okay.
This is a good one.
It's the one where he left his wingman.
Gets set up.
Yeah. Viper,
Viper's
Shows
leading
that
him into a trap.
he shows that he is the best. There's a reason he is called the best.
Hand on the canopy again. And the fingerprints all over that thing. Who do you think
Somebody's
cleans that
gotta
up?
wash that thing.
So what's the deal with the mask? Like, I mean, I know at a certain elevation you have to have them, but they seem to just kind of carelessly like,
Pop
have
them on and off,
or
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
can say?
supplied air.
It's air supply.
I'm all out of love. I need to wear my mask.
I think it's just like because they're like, we need to see that. We need to see the
It's
actor's
Tom
face some
Cruise
more.
face.
It's
Yeah.
like every Spider-Man movie or Spider-Man's just constantly taking his mask off.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I think it's like a pressurization thing, like depending on the higher that they go,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So-
Like if your plane starts to crash, you got to put the oxygen mask on, you know.
It seems to me this is bizarre.
Yeah.
What is he
the
doing?
way he's standing
What
right there.
is this?
Yeah,
And his
he's wearing
balls are
only
for
a towel.
sure out.
Yeah, he's got one leg up. His ball
Flopping him
sack
out.
would be completely out, inches from Goose's face.
Yeah.
Mere inches. Goose's eye level with his ball sack.
And
Look at it.
Everyone else is just staring at him. It's just such an awkward way to be standing next to like your dude friend.
Yeah, and it's like his
And
towel
they're-
is flapping, which just makes me think his ball sack is
Right,
swinging.
And they are, again, covered in moisture.
Yes.
Yes. Glistening, like
Who's
the
just a
morning
married
dew.
man? Don't be sticking your balls in his face.
So it appears that in the Navy, you are given
the
Navy.
70s.
you're given the choice between plain white boxers and tighty whities. And I ask you, who would choose tighty whities
No.
Tom
over
Cruise only.
white boxers?
I mean, yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, I guess it depends on the material, but
Well, I mean, are the white boxers made out of concrete? Like what?
Maybe.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
material would make those
sandpaper.
so
Yeah.
awful? I don't think it's white sandpaper.
Like you can wear these tidy whities.
Can you
or
imagine?
these sandpaper boxers.
That'd be horrible.
I'd probably still go with the boxers.
Oh,
Yeah. This scene, Tom Cruise is a little weirdly touchy with his
why
wife.
is he so like? That's too much.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's got like her leg up on him. She's
Yeah,
like,
I guess you're just supposed to assume they're old friends.
which I get that. That's the. But why is he not sitting like that with his girlfriend?
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like it'd be weird for her.
Yeah.
They're very newly together.
Wow, you two are really close.
Yeah.
yeah, I would
Well,
be like,
I
do
mean,
you guys swing? Like,
it's not like there's a stereotype of people in the military sleeping around with other people's
No,
spouses
not
and
at all.
stuff. So.
And then, like, he's weird with this kid. It's just strange. I mean, I do think Tom Cruise is probably, like, a reptilian
yeah,
Yeah.
or an
I
android.
think definitely. He could be an android. I mean, he hasn't aged.
But he's in some jam-ass movies, so.
From whatever planet he's from, they could say.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan, looking all Meg Ryan-y.
It's
That's
true.
the most Meg Ryan-y she's ever
Yeah,
looked.
she's the most Meg Ryan to ever Meg Ryan.
I
Her
think
hair is Meg Ryan.
I was getting ready to say, I
Yeah.
think she has my favorite hair of 80s female actors.
Yeah,
She's got good
it's
hair.
iconic.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily right here, but like just in general.
But even then, like, look at like her hair versus Kelly McGinnis's hair,
Yeah, yeah.
and I mean, like, Meg Ryan wins the gold medal of hair in that
Yeah, because
competition.
Kelly McGillis looks like my aunt.
Yes, she's just
Like,
all
literally.
ant vibes.
Yeah.
And ants have never been sexy. There's no like aunt I want to fuck. Like that's not a thing.
I mean, I don't know. Have you seen A Bug's Life?
You.
Ew.
I don't know.
I guess that would be an ain't.
I don't know. Yeah, that little
Elf?
that little
Elf?
princess is she's all right.
That's all I'm saying.
Better than the ones in the other Ant movie that came out at
they're
the
all
same time.
disgusting, yeah.
They're creepy.
Yeah.
Was it Sylvester Stallone in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take me to bed or lose me forever. I was telling everyone that.
Look at that
I've used
weird
that line.
kiss.
Yeah,
They really
Ah.
don't know what they're doing.
Also, his
it is
like,
gross.
hatch
Yeah.
on the back of his jacket's not actually sewn on because it just like came up when she put her hand on it.
It's just safety pin.
Yeah, I think it was. Also, he was like
2
sitting
weeks
on
to
that
graduation.
motorcycle.
What could
Very
possibly
strange.
go wrong? Foreshadowing.
Yikes. That's bad.
Now we just got to make sure that nobody dies and we'll be fine.
These fucking shots are amazing. I hope
Yeah.
that this is one of the ones he spent like the check on.
That was on one of the carriers.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this isn't a carrier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just land.
I'm sorry. I didn't-
He didn't pay $25,000 for
To
them
get
to
the
get
land
the
to
land
turn.
back on course.
Yeah, I was like, I can
I
do
wrote the
it,
check
dude.
to like Earth.
I
Like,
can
please
do it.
turn.
Dear Earth.
But you gotta
Fuck
pay
you
out.
guys.
Love you.
But I can make it happen. I know a guy, but I'm just saying, it's gonna cost him.
I mean, it's flat. You can just turn it. It's no problem.
Trust me, I know from trying to find locations. It does cost money to film on land. Anywhere.
But in international waters,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want.
No rules.
Tally ho. Why does he say tally ho?
He ain't
That's
put
the
it in that
dumbest
law.
thing.
He's just goofing.
Only in international waters, boy, can you enjoy the simple pleasures of a monkey knife fight. Oh no, Furious George! This monkey's going to need most of your skin, Smithers. Truly one of the great episodes of The Simpsons. That and the monorail.
Monorail's amazing.
Yeah, that's one
My
of
two.
those.
Monorail.
Monorail.
Yeah, so this scene, it's not gonna work out.
No.
No.
Yeah, things are about to get a little rough for our reluctant hero, Maverick.
I mean, isn't it kind of Iceman's fault that Goose dies?
I mean...
Is it?
No, because Iceman was doing what he's supposed to be doing. Maverick's on his ass. Like, a little too close.
I mean, I think it was just a malfunction with the ejector, really. That,
Well, like, several...
Well, yeah, he smashes into the canopy. And
Several
kills
things
him.
went wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not really anybody's fault
Yeah.
per se.
And that's the thing, like, if it was, like, something Maverick clearly did that got him killed, it would be a lot harder for this movie to have a happy ending.
Yeah, if he was just like got real drunk and got up in the plane or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's like, I can fly with my dick. What? It's like, no, your dick didn't even
I
have
don't
thumbs,
need both
dude.
engines turned on.
How's that gonna work?
Yeah, I think that the idea is just that he dies because the canopy didn't fully
Well, yeah, because
eject.
they're in a spin.
Yeah. But, like, so the canopy's supposed to come clear and then it shoots you out.
Yeah, but since they're spinning, it didn't.
It just
Yeah.
drives his head into it and he dies. Spoiler alert.
I remember seeing this as a kid, and that was, like, pretty traumatic, seeing a goose die.
I remember crying very
Yeah.
intensely.
Like, this scene hit a lot harder.
Well,
back
and
then.
this is all very intense.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And he's the centrifugal force is like pinning Maverick forward,
Yeah.
Ugh.
so he's not able to pull the ejector. And we have a
And it's also just, like, disturbing that a dead body is, like, parachuting down.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just very fucked up.
Oh no!
What is that green stuff in the water?
It's
It's
dye,
dye, so
yeah.
they can find them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was the thing. That's cool.
yeah, it's like in the parachutes or something. But yeah, it comes out so the Coast Guard can come find him.
See, this would be a perfect time for Take My Breath Away.
Broke my neck away.
Or fucking dun, 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 dun. Just bring one of the tracks back.
Highway.
High intensity.
But seriously,
There's not
like,
much better movie song than Danger Zone. by Ken.
Yeah, Danger Zone's amazing.
I mean,
and not just because of Archer, in retrospect, but
but I feel like whenever you hear it, you have to stop what you're doing and sing along. It's like a rule. It's
I think so.
yeah.
And the Kenny Loggins stuff in the movie fits in really well with Harold Faltermeyer's score,
Yeah.
who is like the seminal 80s
Yeah.
guy.
Which often sounds like a Sega Genesis game.
This right here, when they're just like pulling his limp body
That's
up
pretty
into
cool.
the
Yeah,
helicopter.
that's messed up.
Yeah, seeing that as a kid, you're like, oh shit, he's dead.
Well, and that's and that's the thing is he's very clearly dead. So this
Yeah.
part's actually a little weird when Viper walks in and he's like, "Goose is dead."
But I think he's,
Like, well-
he's saying Goose is dead, get over it.
Yeah,
Like, you
because
can't-
Tom Cruise is
Okay.
immediately like, yeah, I know. Like, he's not like, is he okay? Like,
Tom
he
Cruise in
knows.
his high-waisted Fucking tidy whities.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, there's
bother
so
me.
many scenes of dudes either in their underwear or
Like,
in a
the
towel.
only
like,
people that should be allowed to wear tidy whities are like 60-plus-year-old men.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And hot lady models.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it is like this, like
Suspenders.
in the military, but like
It's very specific.
it is disturbing how
Not your
quickly they're asking them to just get over it and move on and go back to work.
Yeah, it's like the same day
it's
that
like-
Goose died. and
It's
he's
been
like, "Why are
literal
you over
hours,
it?"
son. What are you, a pussy?
Exactly.
Fucking grow a pair and get over it.
He essentially says, like, your friend is dead. He's like,
That was a bad touch.
but in this job, a lot of your friends are going to die. This is your first one, so I bet you better get used to it.
You're going to see more.
I'm like, okay, give him like a couple of days.
Yeah.
God damn.
Nice.
He doesn't have a couple of days. This is the Navy.
Yeah, I mean,
In the
Suck it up,
Navy.
Buttercup.
You got MIGs happening.
I mean, he's sweating in this scene too. Jesus,
It's fucking hot.
I guess so.
Don't know what the hell went wrong.
She's like, I'd like to help, but I'm really busy. So, just call me if you need
I have to
anything.
go to Sears, so
Yeah.
I'm going to drop you off.
And
They're
some
running
new
a
dungarees.
special on plants.
Okay, so right here, does it look like she's looking at her phone? Hang on, when he walks around the car.
Wow, did you see him clench his jaw?
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and look at my phone while you do whatever it is you're doing.
The fucking car phone.
I'm just checking the news.
Yeah, what is she looking at?
Yeah. Like, I know
Her
you,
knees?
bitch, I know you ain't got no GPS. Yeah, what is she doing? That is strange. Yeah, if that was like a current movie, that would make perfect sense.
Why is he left alone to clean up all of Goose's stuff?
Because it's part of the getting over it process.
That's part of the not being a bitch process.
Yeah. Which he's clearly failing at.
I mean, why are you still upset? He's been dead for like 12 hours. God.
It's been literal hours now.
Don't you have a
It had
new
been
friend,
minutes
dumbass?
before, and now it's been hours.
Yeah. Yeah, you better grab those so you can fucking chunk them in the ocean later. Like a disrespectful douchebag.
Not give it to his
Oh,
kid.
it's bizarre. Like, I have my grandfather's dog tags from World War II. It's like a thing.
Yeah, there's like no reason or way anybody would just throw some dog tags away.
Yeah.
Unless, like, there's a deleted scene where Goose is like, hey, if I ever die, please throw them off the air.
Please just throw the shit out of my dog tags.
Yeah.
I don't want them, and I don't want my son to have them.
Yeah, my son's a little bastard. Just throw
Might
them
not
in.
even be mine.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No,
Okay.
it isn't. She's seen, my wife seems like you, so.
So
Yeah.
I hope that in Top Gun 2, there is a scene where Goose's kid goes up to Tom Cruise and goes, you know, it'd be really fucking nice to have my dad's dog tags.
Oh my god, that
Wouldn't
could
it be amazing
that
if
could
I
be a
had my
plot
dad's
point.
dog tags?
Because they do that kind of thing now, like when they make sequels to movies, they'll be like, you know, like Chewie getting a medal. Like
Yeah.
shit that fans talk about, but like they don't, you know. I wonder. I wonder if anybody else has said anything about that, about the dog tag thing. Because
We
that's
can't
It's
be
a
the
dick
only ones
move.
that it
Yeah.
bothers.
yeah.
Maybe I didn't pay enough attention to the trailer to be honest, but like maybe Goose's kid hates him
Yeah, maybe.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because
Yeah,
he,
maybe
you
he
know,
thinks that he got his dad killed. Yeah, that I think that a sequel could be really interesting.
I mean, I'll definitely watch it.
For sure.
I wonder if Meg Ryan's in it.
Oh yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, and this, I think, is a really important scene because it lets us know that, like, Maverick didn't actually kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, flying
What's
fighter.
that guy breathing into back there?
He's the stenographer. So you know how, like, the court stenographer, you'll see him typing on that little weird thing? Well, a lot of times they just put it over and they talk into it. So
Whoa.
they're saying whatever is being said in the court.
As opposed to just sitting a tape recorder out.
Yes.
That's really weird.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're saying,
you
but I'm
making this
assuming
up?
that.
Is
No,
this
I
like
swear to
the
God, it's a
bird
stenographer thing. It's. I would say he was jerking off if I was making it up. I would be like, he's talking dirty into there, and the judge has an earpiece in that's making him hard as the Dickens.
That's actually why judges wear robes. So they
Yeah,
can just
so
take off and
So
nobody
you don't
can
see
it.
his boner.
Yeah. Duh.
Okay, now Goose has been dead for 36 hours, and they put him back in a
So
plane.
you don't see the bird sitting on his dick.
Yeah.
You know, you fall off the horse, you got to get back on, even if the person you fell off the horse with is dead now.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, even if the horse is dead, get back on.
Yeah.
I thought somehow the horse was going to have something to do with birds jerking off.
I mean, what doesn't these days?
Good point. Yeah, this guy's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, and he's such a dick. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Maverick? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know. I'm having trauma.
This is awesome, though. When Maverick snaps on him.
Yeah.
Although
Here's
his
the
helmet's
thing, though.
badass.
Like,
His helmet is the best.
they hadn't discovered trauma in 1986.
It's true, it didn't exist yet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just called Don't Be a Pussy.
Just like, I mean, we didn't discover pandemics before this year. So
Yeah,
like
first one ever.
That's true.
That's why we're doing so bad. No one could have known.
We didn't even know what it was.
Nah, we still don't, because we're America.
But they're all like, what the fuck's his problem? Like, maybe his friend died in his arms yesterday.
I just died in your arms
Exactly.
yesterday.
Take my breath away. Yeah. I will say, fucking, pretty much every song in this movie is, like, fucking iconic as shit.
Yeah.
And every time I hear any of the songs in the movie, I immediately think of the movie.
Yes.
It's true.
Even,
Well, this
You've
is
Lost
this
That
is,
Love and Feeling.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like,
this
that's
is like
Great Balls of Fire.
look at Iceman trying to be human.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Like,
can tell
sure.
he's
And you know, this is some of the best acting in the whole movie because
Yeah.
you can tell it's just killing him to have to be nice to this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, everybody liked him except for me because I'm a fucking android and I'm not
Yeah, Cruz is just like, damn, that was unexpected.
And this
That guy's jerking
weirdo
off.
just lurking here, jerking
Yeah.
off like a bird.
You look down at the
Jerking
Yeah.
off like a bird.
Wolfman.
Talking on a rotary payphone. God damn.
You know this movie's old.
Yeah.
What are these two laughing at? A little tiny piece of paper.
They're laughing at the fact that Tom Cruise is going to have to go fly plane loads of crap from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Plastic dog turds. He's going straight to the Navy's dog turd division.
I mean, if they're trying to show
Novelty
that,
dog poop.
if they're trying to show that he's like a wreck and he's like quitting and all this stuff, like why are they having there sitting like drinking a glass of water? Like make it like whiskey or something.
I think that was supposed to be like a... Because they make a point of
Nah.
it being just a glass of water.
Yeah. I saw it was the strange.
So I think maybe it's supposed to be like he's so upset
Can't
he doesn't even want to get drunk.
Yeah. This is an odd choice, but
And even her, so like, she's a total bitch. She's like, I'll have what he's having. Hemlock, is it? Like, she's mocking
He's like, hey,
the fact that
pussy.
he is grieving.
Yeah, what? I don't even know what is him.
It's a
It'll kill
poison.
you.
I
It's
thought it was
the-
something that had to do with werewolves.
Yeah, hemlock is it's what they made the ancient Greeks drink to commit suicide. Like
Oh
that's
my
what
gosh.
that's what Socrates drank.
That's
God,
awful.
if there are fucking werewolves in Top Gun, I mean, there's a wolf man.
I mean, there's going to be werewolves in Resident Evil 8, so that's all I,
I know,
care
I'm
about.
excited.
But like,
I'm sorry, Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
It's
I'm-
Resident Evil 8 though.
watching this as an adult is like, everybody is a huge dick to him because he's upset that Goose died. And she's like, you know, she's mocking him. Oh, are you going to kill yourself? Because your friend died? Oh, you're just a pussy. Like, what is wrong with these people? Like, give the guy a couple of days to, like, figure it
To
out.
process
Good
this.
lord.
Yeah.
It's, like, not only his best friend, but also, like, his work partner.
But it makes it all sweeter at the end when he gets over it and fucking wins.
And throws the dog tags away.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
he's
fuck you,
"Fuck
Goose,
my-"
I don't need you anymore.
He never mattered anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, it turns out I wasn't the pussy goose. You were, because you died.
Yeah.
Burn.
Dying is the pussy.
Not my
shit.
fault. You had a weak neck.
Yeah.
A weak-necked goose.
If you'd been shorter like me, you would have avoided the
Could have
candy.
cleared it, yeah.
And you
You
would have
get
been
for
fine.
being tall, you big freak. You tall freak. Care about you.
I got to go on and be in Mission Impossible, and you had to be on ER, so suck it.
I hate her. I'm fully...
Yeah, she sucks.
The more I watch this movie, the more I'm like, why?
Yeah, she's probably the weakest cast member.
Yeah.
Because, like, other than that, the cast is pretty fucking strong. She's just, like, the weakest part of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
If they took out all the stuff with her, like, I mean, it would be a lot shorter, and it would be fucking amazing.
Yes. It would be like...
Yeah,
flawless.
that would be... Because we don't need to see him being some Lothario. Like, he's
No.
just... Like, he can be cool pilot guy. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like, especially this time, like, I feel like any movie had to have some sort of love interest. Like, it was, like, a thing. Like, a
Yeah.
I feel like the studio's like, no, he has to fucking awkwardly bang somebody. Or this shit
Very,
can't happen.
very awkwardly bang somebody.
It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. It's not a good love scene at all. And I guess we're supposed to think that this picture is Viper with his dad.
More white shirts.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
wearing a
I think
goddamn
so.
white shirt.
Yeah.
Because he comes down and says, I flew with your old man. And then he, like, finally tells him how his father died. After, like, 20 years.
He's like, this mustache was actually your father's. He
I
gave it to me before he died.
I carried this uncomfortable hunk of hair for 4 years. The only place I could stash it. My
In
ass.
my ass.
But
What if-
damn.
What if Dallas is like his great-great-grandson?
Oh, shit. Wow.
Man, Tom Skerritt's a cool motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
What was that show he was on that was kind of like Twin Peaks?
What's he doing with his arm right here?
Picket Fences, yeah. I don't know that it was really that much like Twin
It wasn't.
Peaks.
It was
It was
a weird.
but it wasn't
It was in like
surreal.
Yeah. It was just kind of weird.
What is he doing?
Yeah, what is he doing with his arm?
Is he trying to catch a fart?
It's yeah, it's just covering his butthole. Like he's really concerned.
He's got to be ready.
That would be awesome if he threw his fart at Tom Cruise.
Like, what's his
A
name?
cup.
Yeah.
There's one last thing before you go.
Yeah.
What's that, sir?
That's in the deleted scenes. Tom Skerritt throwing a fart at Tom
That would
Cruise.
be amazing.
It looks like he was going to put his hands behind his back, which is like a normal person thing to do.
And then
But he
forgot
just
to
puts
put the
one
other
there,
back
and the other
there.
one's just floating off to the side. It's really weird.
I only need one hand for gesturing. I need to put the other one away.
And it's not like if it was in its pocket or something, I would. But it's just hanging there. Just he's like, I gotta protect my butthole at all times.
All
I've
costs.
seen how this guy operates.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's always like the weirdest little thing in a movie that I fixate on. I'm like, what's wrong with his arm?
Take my breath away.
I mean, I guess Tom Skerritt's like... He's cool in this scene where he talks to him about his dad, and he's like, I know this is hard for you.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Like, he's the only one that's like... sort of treats him like a human being. Of course, he does tell him he needs to get over it like 6 minutes after Goose dies.
Yeah.
Like, real short. But he kind of redeems himself in that scene, I think.
So that Tomcat patch that he has been on both arms at different points in the movie.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Fine. Everything's fine.
Because it started off higher up on his right arm, and now it's on his left, like, forearm.
He must have multiple jackets and wardrobe.
Maybe he does. Like, I mean, maybe, like, even just the character has a couple of different jackets.
Just like Tom Cruise is just like, I have several brown bomber jackets.
He's got makeup on his collar. I thought I noticed that it might have been this scene, because they've got those high collars.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a couple of times where you can see the makeup on the top of their collars.
It would be hard to keep the makeup off of that, honestly.
What is this guy's deal?
Yeah, I hate him.
He's like 14 years old with shitty hair.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the simple Jack haircut.
Val Kilmer is smug as fuck.
Yeah.
So I guess, isn't it like requiring you have to wear aviators if you fly?
I mean, they're called aviators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aviators look badass, so kind of hard to go wrong.
I mean, like, if you're flying a plane and their sunglasses specifically called aviators, seems kind of silly not to wear them.
You're not going to wear motorists.
Or avians.
Or horseback riders.
You know all those horseback riding sunglasses. It's a huge market. Back to the Indian Ocean.
Alright, I gotta pay attention to the subtitles this time, because I really didn't listen before, because I was really tired of this movie at that point.
I mean, it's a MacGuffin. There's a disabled ship that's floated into enemy waters, and they gotta go...
They gotta help him rescue it.
Yeah, make sure it didn't get blown up.
Because this was the 80s and we were in the Cold War, but it wasn't a very action-filled war, so
Yeah.
we had to have a reason for them to be having a dogfight over the Indian Ocean. Or anywhere, really.
See, which is where G.I. Joe has the advantage over Top Gun.
Because they've got...
Because G.I. Joe, Cobra would have been in some made-up country trying to turn the citizens into toads or something.
But Mongia...
And G.I. Joe, Mongrovia, something like that.
Look at how sweaty they are.
Karate.
Just beads of moisture covering them constantly. It's almost like they spray them down with glycerin before every scene.
I was going to say, like, before they say action, somebody just runs around and sprays them all in the face.
The art direction in the costuming for this movie was done by Vince McMahon. He was just in Gorilla the whole time.
Just wet.
All right, you gotta... This shit's gonna be so good, pal. You just gotta spray him down some more.
I'm really wet. Covered in juice.
Listen.
Good Lord.
I want droplets spraying off with every word.
This shit's so
good shit, pal.
Well, we got these sprinklers with baby oil.
I want to implant little sprinklers in their faces.
And then she's gonna give birth to a hand.
He's like running his hand.
Yeah, I feel like they were like
missile.
only able to shoot when the fucking sky was orange as shit.
Yeah.
Well, you want it to look cool.
Oh, it looks awesome.
It's beautiful. That one scene that you were talking about where, like, the sun's going up or coming down and you kind of see it through the canopy as the plane goes by is pretty awesome.
That's like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
one that you could only get in Florida.
And it would be one of the stores you walk into that just has iron-on T-shirt designs
Yes.
covering every inch of the wall.
Like the one that says "My Dick" and has the hand pointing. That
Yes.
we saw? Yeah.
And you go and you pick out, I want number 723, the cockpit. And they'd be like, okay.
And then they take out the shirt and they press it on there right
Yep.
there. When you get it, it's still warm.
You're like, I'll take the cockpit, hold the pit.
Just
I get.
back.
I got when I was probably right around the time I saw this movie, maybe a little younger. I went to one of those stores like that, and I got a shirt that had a Corvette and 2 mice wearing suits standing beside it, and it said Miami Mice.
I remember that shirt.
Do you?
Like, I remember seeing people in that shirt.
I wish I still had it. It didn't have... It was... I just remembered this, thinking about it now. Not only was it sleeveless, but, like, the sides were, like, completely open.
Oh, you had the giant
Like,
armpits.
all the way down, yeah.
Nice.
Not like Scott Hall style. Like, it wasn't literally a flap that you put over your head, but...
Yeah. Where it's connected by like a thread.
Right.
Hey,
And now there's something that happens, so they discovered there's all these, like, more bogeys than they thought there was going to be.
MiGs.
Yes.
Multiple
And then-
MiGs.
They put Maverick in the air, and then something happens that they can't launch anything else afterwards, so, like, Maverick has no choice but to be the hero.
Yeah, and he's got the PTSD, so
Yeah.
yeah, so he overcomes it though.
He's got that PTSD.
Post
but,
Top Gun stress disorder.
That's what I'm gonna have tomorrow when I'm not watching Top Gun.
Oh, man. I might just let you take this with you. I'd hate to see that happen.
It's serious. It can be really serious.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to get into the bonus features and stuff on this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's some good stuff.
I bet there is.
about how they like partnered with the Navy and
Yeah.
got all the shots. And
Yeah,
Well, I'd
behind
love
the scenes
it.
would be really cool to see.
I'd love a Tony Scott commentary, because, I mean, I would imagine they recorded one before he passed.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that shot right there, so they, like, I guess strapped a camera to the actual, what are these, F-14s?
Yeah.
F-14.
Because they launch, and then the shot is from the point of view of the rear of the plane looking at the aircraft carrier, and then they do a barrel roll. It's a really cool shot.
Yeah, this is before GoPros and shit.
Yeah.
So this is like a full-on film camera.
You know, this scene is
Now,
like,
when
really...
I was a kid, I did think that those were lasers. But apparently, there's a thing like tracer rounds that have lights in them. But it would be pretty sweet if they were lasers. Just saying.
It would be. I'm kind of disappointed that our military doesn't use lasers like that.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
Both catapults
Yeah, both
are
of the
broken.
catapults broke, so they can't launch them.
I'm looking up the Sky Striker right now, because now I can't actually remember if it's an F-14 or an F-16. I mean, technically it's not either of them. It's like kind of a G.I. Joe version of those things, but it's based off one of them. But yojo.com will not load, so...
Honestly, I will admit that the majority of my knowledge about fighter planes is from this movie.
If it had 2 engines, it was an F-14. If it had 1, it was an F-16.
Yeah.
Oh, what's an F-14?
Well, I think that they've got 2 because at one point Iceman loses his right engine.
Well, you know, these
Well,
are
these are F-14s.
These
I'm
are
talking about the
He's
Sky
talking about
Striker,
the
but it
Tombstone,
has
Oh, okay.
2 engines, so it's the designation is the XP-14F. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's based on these. Yeah, Sky Striker came out in '83. It was in that second wave of stuff.
He's PTSDing.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta have Tim Robbins give you a pep talk.
Break my neck today.
They're all like, God damn it, Maverick's disengaging! And you're like, yeah, well, you know, maybe it was a bad idea to send this guy into combat after, like, 2 days ago.
With nothing to help him but this fool slap in the canopy.
Yeah. Let's just have this guy scream at him
If it had been Iron Eagle, he could have started playing music through his Walkman, and then he would have been able to, you know.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, but he didn't bitch out like the guy in the beginning of the movie. He pulls it together.
He manned up.
That's right.
Handled his shit.
Be like, haha, gonna be hard to fly without a wing, bitch.
Yeah. Fuck your wing.
And notice that guy didn't eject.
No, he's just dead.
No, I guess he's like, I don't want to go back to Russia after losing this bajillion-dollar plane. I'll just die.
I don't want to go back to unspecified evil foreign country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at Tim Robbins acting the shit out of his eyes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I never, really knew. I just always assumed it was the Russians, just because that's what makes the most sense.
Well, I thought that MiG specifically was a Russian airplane.
I
don't know. I never heard that.
And again, most of my knowledge comes specifically from Top Gun.
Are you looking it
I'll
up?
say.
Yeah. Yeah. The MiG-29 is a twin-engine jet fighter designed in the Soviet Union.
Okay. Well, and it's got like a weird nondescript black star thing on it. It was always weird to me too that the MiGs always their faces are shielded out.
Yeah.
It makes them look more like bad guys.
Oh yeah.
You know, they kind of look like Cobra.
Yeah, you never see Wild Weasel's eyes.
It's true.
And they're also just like random bad guy. You're not supposed to
It doesn't have much.
identify them or anything. Yeah.
They're
Identify
actually
with them.
reptilians.
Probably.
That would be Tom Cruise killing his own people.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That would be bad.
Good anal tone. I'm taking a shot.
Good anal tone? So when you stick a tuning fork in somebody's butt,
And then fart.
Yep.
I
just
mean,
add a sound to get Tom Skerritt to catch the fart.
Tom Skerritt catches a fart and throws it at the tuning fork.
I think it's time to wrap this thing up, you guys. We don't have much. We'll probably end up making it to the end of the movie, but so we forgot to do this at the beginning. Arian, when was the first time you saw this?
I saw this in the theater, man, in
Okay.
'86. It was shortly after my parents got divorced for the first time, because that happened. And I want to say it was the summer. Yeah, I think I saw this up in Michigan that summer that it came out. We were vacationing and saw it in a little small theater in my mom's hometown, Podunk, Michigan. So, there you go.
Yeah, this was one of the few movies I saw with my dad instead of my mom. Return of the Jedi was another one, which is actually kind of odd. I'm not sure why he took me to that one. But it's all of this stuff is awesome. If you could cut out literally everything that's people standing too close together talking and being moist.
Yeah. And
Other
giving each
than
other
the volleyball
smoldering
scene?
looks.
Except for the volleyball scene,
Yeah.
because there's some action going on there. It's pretty awesome. Well, I guess we did. I guess we kind of did cover when everybody saw it at first. As far as cultural impact goes, does anybody have sort of specific memories of people quoting it or looks and stuff
I
that
just
came
feel
out
like
of
it
this?
is so part of pop culture forever. I mean, the references.
Yeah,
Like-
Danger Zone.
Yeah, but it's everyone has seen this movie. I don't think I've ever met anyone who hasn't seen Top. I mean, I'm sure there's some young people, but adult
Yeah.
people. Everyone has seen Top Gun. Everybody knows what you're talking about. If you say, "I feel the need for speed,"
Yeah.
if
You
you
frequently
say,
hear Maverick
yeah.
and Goose referenced in other movies.
"Yeah, you can be my wingman anytime."
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ghost Rider, this pattern is full. I mean, how many how many times have you said negative Ghost Rider, this pattern is full? In just random conversations. Because I've said it a lot. I feel like it's so part of the vernacular. It's one of the most popular movies ever, I would say.
And there was a fun fact, a Top Gun roller coaster at Carowinds in North Carolina.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah, we wrote it. The name had been changed because I guess the rights had finally expired. So it was like Fast Air Fighter thing. But like it used to be like Top Gun the roller coaster.
It was like Higher Pistol, the roller coaster.
Yeah, it was like everything was still like in the Top Gun like looking fun and everything. But
yeah, I just feel like there's like a million references that people make on a regular basis that are to this movie.
And Danger Zone is one of the best songs ever.
I like that this guy just blew up a couple of planes and they're acting like he just blew up the Death Star. Like it's literally the same scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really kind of had
Princess
to
Leia
like
became a
MacGuffin the
medal.
final conflict.
Well, because like that makes the whole movie worth it. Like they're like, hell yeah, he did it. He kicks ass. He fought bad guys.
You.
And even this part, he's still a dick. You're right.
Like,
Still
kinda.
dangerous.
No, he's softened up.
Yeah,
Look, you
yeah.
can be my wingman anytime.
It's like,
Well, like he's still got a little bit of the smugness. I like it. I think it's cool. That's his character.
that's another moment where
They
you're
just
like,
high
they're about to
fived with
kiss.
their dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, touched
They crossed
touched-
the stream.
They
Yeah.
docked.
He's like, by wingman, I mean bottom.
Yeah. Good shit.
All right, well, that was Top Gun.
Well, happy 4th of July, everybody. We ate a whole bunch of meat, and we drank some seltzers because they're
We didn't eat as
lower
much
in...
meat.
Ugh,
these
I
dudes.
speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't drink any seltzers.
Then we
Grody. Oh, here it is.
Oh, yeah. We
Yes.
gotta talk about this dick movie. That's just bullshit.
Yeah, I guess
He's
it's
like,
supposed
"Fuck
to
you,
be.
Goose."
He's over it now, but I mean,
It's supposed to.
is that going
show
to come
that
up in
he's-
the sequel? Is Goose's kid going to be angry because he never got his dog tags?
We were actually just talking about that. I think you were upstairs. We were just talking about that may be a plot point in the next one.
I mean, probably not. But
It would be cool if it was, though.
Who can say?
It was like, hey, who's the dickhead who threw my dad's dog tags into the fucking Indian Ocean?
I like James Tolkien just up in his face with this cigar.
Yes.
Imagine how bad that little man must smell, just sweating cigars all day long.
Probably farts too.
That would suck if he didn't actually smoke cigars at all. He'd be like, oh god.
Ugh.
Because you know they shot that like a million.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now he's back in.
And this scene doesn't matter at all. Like, at that point, like, I feel like the movie ended with that.
Yeah, who even
That last
cares
thing. Who
about
gives a
their bizarre, meaningless relationship?
And-
This
and,
would have
like-
only been good if you pulled out an ice cube and started rubbing her nipples.
I agree.
But just at the bar.
Yeah.
Then I would be like, finally.
And then the
All right.
bartender would be like, sir, you're going to have to stop rubbing ice cubes on your aunt's nipples.
And then he'd
Please
be like-
take it out of here.
and then
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
Sir.
They don't have to get ice.
So we
This is no Zaxby's.
Yeah.
we do not yet have a pick for next month, but, and I am somewhat loath to say this, it is Arian's pick.
Rad.
Oh, we're going to watch a movie about butts.
Listen.
What was that? We're going to watch 6 episodes of Assy McGee.
Oh god. I remember.
I mean,
Forgot
we're not.
about that.
We're probably just gonna watch something I enjoy watching that I think will make for a good commentary. I'm not gonna make us watch a Gary Busey movie. Like, it's too soon after we just watched Veronica
That's true.
to
Yeah.
watch something
We need-
Yeah.
just
We need
terrible.
a few months of
This was a
reasonable
good-
things.
This was a good palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
bullshit.
Dude,
Yeah,
we
that
need
movie
several
was awful.
months of palate cleansers after Veronica.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, speaking of PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like,
I have a much
no,
better
like,
pick
here's
for
the
next
thing.
one.
Like, Veronica's, it's bad, but it's
It's not good.
it's
Yeah,
so
not
obviously
fun.
bad that, like, I can't even be disappointed in it. It's just like, yeah, it's just this
Well,
thing.
you knew it was going to suck, but I think how bad it sucked still managed to be a surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fucking way worse
it's
than I
complete
Oh,
thought.
Anthony
and
Edwards,
utter
thank
lack
you,
of
Goose.
anything.
Thank you for your service, Goose.
Love you, Goose.
Thank you for your
Slider
kicking
kicks
bod,
ass. Yeah.
Rick Rossovich.
Whip Hubley. That's my
Very
favorite name ever.
Hub.
So he was
Tom
Fucking
Skerritt.
Yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Eh,
Boo.
boring.
Eh.
Yay. Okay.
It's our hero.
No credit for Adrian Pastower? Oh, well. All right, you guys, thanks for listening to this month's Needless Commentary. Tune in every single Friday for a new Needless Things podcast. Tune in next month for Arian's next pick.
Yes. Choice to be determined.
It'll be Arian's Anal August.
It's deliverance.
Oh, no.
What are you, some sort of sick and twisted butt freak? I prefer to think of myself as a film
I
buff.
feel like I've seen you wearing a shirt that says that.
You know, I have a gimmick to live up to. I'm like
Peter
the
Horsecock?
Undertaker.
Oh my God! His name is Peter Horsecock.
It was.
Wow.
Wow.
I wonder how he got that name.
I guess if
Not
you
from
last.
having a normal man cock.
There you go.
Wouldn't it suck if your name was Peter Mousecock?
You know.
Do me a favor. Go to the Needless Things YouTube channel, subscribe, watch a couple of the videos that I'm pretty proud of. I like that format. Because I took a week off last week from posting any videos because we had new episodes of Execute Chapter 66 and of Audible Interlude. And, like, there's only so much Needless Things I can deal with in a week, so I didn't put any new videos up. And it seems like our numbers have fallen off that time, which is, I guess, how the internet works. So go like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Join the Needless Things Podcast Facebook group. Answer those questions. Follow Needless Things Podcast on Instagram. Follow Phantom Troublemaker on Instagram. Follow Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, where I am trying to keep all of the content separate. All further G.I. Joe posts from myself will be under the Audible Interlude account. All entertainment type stuff, or Needless Things will be all entertainment. And if there's stuff that I talk about on my personal accounts that maybe you don't care for, or you don't want to hear about, or whatever the case may be, that's under the Phantom Troublemaker account. And if you don't like it, then don't follow it. So there you go. Please share this podcast. Share the videos. Help us out. Get the word out. The more people are listening and watching, the better. For some reason, I don't know. I'm just doing it because I love doing it. And you know what else I love? I know you know. You know. You know. I love you guys.
Oh my God! His name is Peter Horsecock.
Thank you for listening to the Needless Things podcast. You're the best. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Downcast, or in the ears of a Trader Vic's employee. Love you. Mean it. Uh-huh.